Daniel Hill, 17.1, part 1, starting from trait theory. So in trait theory there are two categories, introvert and extrovert. So what an introvert is someone that's a bit less confident, like a bit less vocal. They keep themselves more to themselves, rather than extroverts, more like loud, confident people. So like introverts would be like introverts are less likely to do like team sports activities because they'd rather just, they don't really like socialising as much as an extrovert would, which is why extroverts are more likely to be like the captains for your roles in your team, and they're more likely to play in team sports. I don't really agree with this theory because so it just says like from the theory it's like it's the way you're brought up, so you're either an introvert or an extrovert. So either obviously a bit less confident, more reserved, or a loud, confident person. I don't really agree with it because it doesn't really take into account the different changes in the environment. So like someone might be an introvert, but then they might be, or someone like might be an extrovert, but then they might be in a place where they don't really want to be vocal or can't really be vocal. So like say someone died and they're at a funeral and they're a bit upset, they won't really want to, and they might not want to be as loud or socialise as much as they would normally, say if they were on a Saturday playing a game. So it doesn't really take in the change of the environment. So I leads on to situational, which is then kind of the opposite. So it's all about the situation they're in, which affects the reactions. So like say they won, team won the cup, like if a football team won the cup, then obviously the reactions are going to be happy. They're going to be like loud, bubbly, all that sort of thing. Except I also disagree with this because it's like the quiet people still might be quiet even if they win the cup. It's like it might not change them. I think everyone's like a bit different, so it doesn't really cover how some people might be. Because obviously people are brought up differently, so they might react to different situations differently. So like if everyone's loud anyway, then the quiet ones might even be more quiet rather than go up with the other loud players. So if they are in winning the cup, they might not still be an extrovert, they might still be introverted, like in the way they put themselves across in that situation. So then a mix between them is the interactional approach. So this is a mix between both of them. So a mix between situational and trait. So they could be introverted but might come out of their shell in like some sports, or might be extroverted in sports, like really bubbly, loud. Commands the team, leads the team properly. Like they're just really extroverted. Then they might meet new people, just be really shy, don't speak much, and just stuff like that. Which I agree with because it mixes like everything into one, but then it is quite broad. It's not really that specific in like the way people are. So like some people might not really change under many circumstances. They might be like the same sort of thing throughout. Like they might just be a depressed person in general. Like might just be like they might not really be happy much. So they wouldn't really be loud or put themselves out there in many situations. So it doesn't really, the interactional approach doesn't really work for them because they are in a state where they are mainly just introverted, or some people might just be extroverted. And that's again with the people how they've been brought up. Then for type A, this is Type A people are extroverted, outgoing. They like to do things, put themselves out there. Just outgoing, really, in general. But I don't agree with this either, because some people maybe, it's like they wouldn't be. They might not be one thing throughout everything. Like, say, they may be like introverted in some situations. Like, it doesn't bring in factors like that could affect the mood. Like, say someone was to die, they wouldn't still be extroverted then. It might be, but most people wouldn't. It would be like quite sad for them. They might just be a bit more introverted rather than carry on being that type A person. And then that's the same with opposite was type B. They are introverted instead of extroverted all the time. So they would prefer to go to more like solo sports. So might play tennis and stuff instead. Because obviously they don't really play. Don't really like to socialise as much. They're not really outgoing. They very inclusive with themselves. So it's like, yeah. So they might play like tennis or more of an individual sport rather than a team sport. And I also disagree with this because it's the same as like type A. There might be some situations where they might come out of their shell. You know what I mean? Like if they're comfortable, they might be quite loud or something like that. So, yeah.